Hi again, Kerry here. This video is a little design set that I did on one of my lovely clients a while ago. As you can see, these are her nails. Most of my clients have their own nails now, and the vast majority of my work is overlaying. I do find that if your clients are going to have a pretty average salon length nail, which they can cope with at work, having their own nail and overlaying the product, they do tend to be a little bit stronger than having glue and tips put on each time. They come very regularly, so we maintain the nail health, and each time I just file off the majority of the old product, and I take all the depth out of the acrylic just to a very thin layer left. This enables me to overlay a whole new design without the nails becoming too bulky over time. This client of mine in particular is very brave with colour, and she does challenge me to use colours that I wouldn't naturally be drawn to myself. She's got a very lovely sense of style, and she does like bright summery pastels. Although this time she's picked out quite a bright lime green and a peach. And I get a little bit anxious about trying to marry colours like this together. But this client does love to come up with her own stuff. So we work together. We choose a couple of colours and we work along the theme of things that she likes. So she loves flowers and she likes a lot of hand painting. So we're using these sort of pastel-y, slightly neon-y, shimmery colours, the peach and the lime green, and I'm just randomly blending these colours on two of the nails. We've toned it down overall on all 10 by keeping some of the nails plain nude. So this is the other finger on this hand, and you can see I've decided that we're going to put the bright colour at the top. The design is made up through layering, lots of layering, like mixed media. So there will be colour and glitter in the acrylic, then there will be layered painting, and then we'll put some crystals on at the end as well. So it gives the design lots of depth. So I'm overlaying the colour with a strength powder, one of my core powders, the clear. And obviously we don't want to bore you. There's thousands of videos on YouTube, so you don't need to see me doing all 10, and you probably won't want to watch the filing bit either, so I've cut that out too. We'll just get on with the pretty stuff at the end. So there we go, we've filed them all. They've all been buffed. I do like to make sure that I've really buffed them smooth. So you've got a beautiful smooth surface to be painting on. So you can see I have an angled shader with two colours, which I've blended using my hand. Sorry about the shaky camera there for a little bit. I think I must have kicked the table. So you can lay the flowers down first as a focal point and then add extra detail like leaves. Or if you're pretty good with the placement and you know exactly where your flowers are going to go, you might prefer to lay the leaves down first. But yeah, I've always been one for thinking that The flowers tend to look a little bit better if they've got odd number petals. So I use exactly the same technique for a leaf as I do a petal. I blend 2 shades of green onto the brush. You do want your paint to be very, very high pigment, because you want to water it down enough that it flows from the bristles of the brush nicely, but you also want it to be solid enough still to give you solid coverage. Painting the leaves on afterwards can be a little bit tricky actually, so you can see now I'm just going to go and stick a leaf on first, paint the petals of the flower afterwards. There are a couple of techniques when doing the one-stroke painting. Some people like to tap the brush round, other people like to do a nice swooping motion, and you can see me sort of doing a bit of a combination of both. Tapping in my markers there, look, width of the leaf to the point, and then back out to the width again. This one I've just decided to go for it. So I've done this on both hands. Both hands have 2 nude nails, and they both have 2 coloured acrylic nails, which I've painted. And I've swapped the paint mound just for an added bit of interest. This petal has pink on the outside, lilac on the inside. There we go, I've swapped it around again. Once you're happy with the painting, I do like to just define them and highlight them with a tiny little bit of white. I mean, you can define them with black if you prefer, but it does make the whole design as a whole look quite a bit darker. This is very summery and bright, so I'm keeping it light. Your high pigment white paint needs to be sort of the consistency of milk, and it will flow out of the bristles really nicely. So you get some nice fine lines. The beauty of this as well is it can be quite abstract. You don't have to be really, really neat. It doesn't have to be really realistic. It can be very, very bold. It's just a repeated pattern. And you must make sure it's very dry. If it's not dry before you top coat, you could then drag the paint and ruin the painting that you've just done. Coating these nude ones with a tacky top coat. And I'm using a tacky top coat because I want to foil straight onto them. You can see this is the other hand. I've just swapped it up and swapped the designed fingers so they're not all the same. And this painting, when it's fully dry, I've top coated it with a non-tacky top coat. That's a bit of a mouthful. So this one's a no wipe. It's the Mega Gloss one from Crystal Nails. top gloss. Once it's cured, then we're going to go and foil straight onto this tacky surface. You can use a silicone tool like I have if you prefer. I wanted the foil to be quite patchy and stripy rather than big chunks, although I'm not so good with the silicone tool, so I do prefer to just use my thumb. Now I'm sealing the foil with the same no wipe top coat. So a lot of people ask me about how I stick my gems on. I glue them in place, and I have done for a long time now. I glue them on, and then I seal around the base of each one when the glue is dry with a little bit of the no wipe top coat. And to be fair, the vast majority of my clients all come back with all of their crystals still in place. They don't knock them off. A lot of people saying that their clients can't keep gems on. I think a lot's to be said about the cheaper rhinestones as well. If they are cheaper stones, I find the foil backing tends to come off quite a lot easier than the genuine Swarovskis. The backing doesn't tend to come off them quite so easily, so they do stay on the nail a bit better, I think. So when you've applied your gems in all your extra little detail, cuticle oil to finish the service, and that is ultimately what my salon design set looks like when finished. It's really easy, dead simple, but the finish is really bold.